إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده أما بعد. طيب يا إخوة وأخوات إن شاء الله نبدأ. طيب the ayah in the Quran, when Allah described Ibrahim alayhi salam, what are the attributes that He described him with? Give me one, inshallah, one. What does Ummah mean? A leader. Okay, what did Ibn Mas'ud said? Do you remember the statement of Ibn Mas'ud? Is'a. Do you remember? Do you remember the... Oh, Yaqub, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, what does Ummah mean in this ayah?
Teacher of good.
Teacher, Mu'allim al-Khair, teacher of good, mashallah. What was the next attribute? What was the akhi? The next one. You want to hear? Abdul Kareem?
Meaning of...
Next attributes of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah described him with Ummah, then? What does Qanit mean?
Someone who is constantly worshipping Allah.
Okay, mashallah. What's the next one?
Those are the only two that I remember.
Two. What's the next one? No? We got two more left. It's very. Brother behind Abdul Karim, you're gone. No? يا شيخ. صفة الثالث. ما هي صفة الثالث؟ وأمة قانت إلا بعد ذلك حنيف. حنيف. ما معنى حنيف? What does حنيف mean?
It's like it makes authentic, like the worship
and ikhlas. Worship Allah upon sincerity towards Tawheed of Allah. طيب حنيف. The last one, يا أخي. The last one is.
What Ibrahim was described as.
Yeah, the last. We have come to the end of the tunnel now.
Is it different to the four definitions of Ummah?
La. We said Allah described him in the ayah, his Ummah, Qanit, Hanif. One more left. Go on. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. He's among the disbelievers. So this is the ayah Ibrahim, Shaykhul-Islam brings to establish a proof that this is tahqiq al-Tawheed. This is fulfilling of Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal. طيب, how is this in evidence? How is the evidence? Azhar. How is the evidence tahqiq?
Because Hanafiya is Tawheed, is worshipping Allah and not associating partners with Him.
Okay, Hanafiya is worshipping Allah alone. That's form of tahqiq of Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal. So if someone were to worship Allah alone, fall into major sins as well.
It's Allah doesn't forgive shirk, but He forgives anything.
Anything. So for someone to be upon muhaqqiq of Tawheed, this is the ayah. So he mentioned Ibrahim being Hanif, and if anyone does that, and other sifat, Qanit, not among the disbelievers. So these four attributes that if a believer to possess, have this in their life, then he has fulfilled Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal. What is the difference between this and the one chapter before? What's the difference? Fadl Tawheed and this one. Go on.
Fadl Tawheed, the virtue, and Haqqaq Tawheed is like putting it into action, maybe.
It's more higher. Fadl Tawheed is those who, you remember the ayah, yeah? You remember the ayah what Shaykhul-Islam brings, those who doesn't mix the shirk with Tawheed. So the people of Fadl Tawheed are lower than the people upon this chapter, which is fulfilling the Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal. The other one is that you're Muslim, you're muwahhid, you're upon Tawheed of Allah, but you must have fallen into sin, major sin, things like that. But this one is not. They upon Tawheed, they abandon shirk, major sin, major bid'ah. They're more stronger, they're more higher. Obviously, if someone falls into major sin, makes tawbah to Allah Azza wa Jal, he comes back, alhamdulillah. Yeah. So we've covered all that, the ayah of the Quran. Let's go back again, inshallah. Hadith Qudsi. What is Hadith Qudsi? What's the difference between Hadith Qudsi and the Quran? Give me one, inshallah, one difference.
You can't recite Hadith Qudsi in Salah.
Okay, Quran you can recite, where Hadith Qudsi you can't recite in Salah. Okay, second difference.
I do. You know, before you mentioned the different definitions of Hadith Qudsi.
No, you mentioned definitions, not many, no. There's a difference between the Quran and Hadith Qudsi. We just mentioned few of them, few differences. One is that the Quran you can recite in Salah, and Hadith Qudsi you can't recite in the Salah. Any time, you can't. So that's one. Okay, give me one difference, inshallah.
The Quran was conveyed by Jibreel alayhi salam, but Hadith Qudsi is conveyed by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay, that's one. We didn't mention that. But anyway, go on, inshallah.
Allah didn't challenge the mushrikeen with the Hadith Qudsi, but He did with the Quran.
Oh, with the Quran. So Allah challenged the kuffar with the Quran, but not with Hadith Qudsi. Give me one, inshallah.
Hadith Qudsi can be da'if, Quran is.
Yeah. So these are some of the definitions. The one more I gave, do you remember?
You get reward for every letter you read of Quran, but no.
Hadith Qudsi. There's one more, one more gonna read.
The meaning is from Allah, but not the word.
MashaAllah. So we covered all that, eh? So that's the differences we covered. Hayyakumullah. MashaAllah. That's good. Today, inshallah, we'll discuss same thing, but we covered also Ibrahim alayhi salam. We spoke about Ibrahim alayhi salam. Now, one more question regarding Ibrahim alayhi salam, family. Who remember his brother's name? Give me one of the brothers' name of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Do you remember? Dawood? Lut is not his brother. Haran. Okay. What's his son? Lut alayhi salam, mashallah. What's the older brother's name? Anyone? No? Nahur. You can Google it. It gives you the sons of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So these are the three brothers, as far as I know. Nahur, the oldest. Haran is the youngest. They are not Muslims. So is the father is not. What's the father of Ibrahim alayhi salam? Subhanallah. Adam. La, that's his son. Azar. Father of Ibrahim, Azar. That's his son, Yaqub. طيب, these are in the Quran, you know, so these are the name of the brothers of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Okay, last question. Okay, this brother here. Ya akhi, what are the people of Ibrahim used to worship? Specific. Adu is general, isn't it? Could be anything. Statue, general.
The sun and the moon.
Kawakibin, the stars and the moon they used to worship. Yeah. طيب. Yeah, the Shaykh Saleh mentioned it, one of the Shaykh, they worship stars and the moon, either the stars and the moon directly, or they will form an idol of stars and the moon and they will worship that. طيب, Ibrahim alayhi salam, one of the Khalil of Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's important we need to know. You know our people, they say Ibrahim is Khalil, Muhammad is Habib, and Musa is Kalim. Ibn al-Qayyim talks about this, and he points out the mistake. Part of it is right, part of it is wrong. When we say Muhammad is the Habib of Allah, Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen says, it is true, but he deserves more than that. Okay? Habib is for everyone. Inna Allah yuhibbu at-tawwabin wa yuhibbu al-mutatahhirin. Indeed, Allah loves those who repent and those who purify themselves. So mahabba is a sifat of Allah, is for everyone. Allah loves the believers. Generally, He loves the believers, those who worship Him. Okay? So Prophet deserves that as well, and he's the best of the mankind. But because he's the best of the mankind, he deserves something higher than that. And that is the Khalil. And Ibn al-Qayyim says in his book Rawdatul Muhibbin, he talks about, he goes, those people who says what we're talking about, it is batil. Because you can't say Ibrahim is Khalil, Muhammad is Habib, and Musa Kalimullah. You put Muhammad on lower than Ibrahim, batil. You can't say that. Even though he deserved the mahabba, but he deserved higher than that. That is Khalil. And remember this, inshallah, Ibrahim alayhi salam, as much as he is a Khalil of Allah, so is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Okay? And in Sahih Muslim, Prophet said that, إن الله اتخذ إبراهيم خليلا كما اتخذني خليلا. Okay? That indeed Allah has taken Ibrahim as a Khalil like he took me as a Khalil. Okay? So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a Khalil of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Okay? And he is better than Ibrahim alayhi salam. Then Ibrahim alayhi salam. Alayhi salam. طيب, so what is Khalil? The Khalil is from the word khulla. Khulla is the attribute of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Like mahabba and mawadda. Okay? And mahabba and mawadda is for generally every slave who worships Allah. Allah expresses mahabba and mawadda for every believers. But khulla is only for two slaves. And it is haram to say Nuh or Isa, they Rasulullah, to say they Allah's Khalil. It's haram to say that. You can't. Because Allah did not accept the khulla for those, except those two messengers, Ibrahim and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay? So, just remember that inshallah. So, you see here a lot of people say Ibrahim Habib, Khalilullah, Muhammad Habibullah. No, there's no evidence to say he's a Habib, he's a Khalil. Hadith says he's a Khalil. Subhanallah. So khulla is a sifat of Allah, and he only expressed this khulla only for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ibrahim alayhi salam. Now, Ibrahim alayhi salam, Allah took him as a Khalil. Okay? Why did Allah take him as a Khalil? And there are many evidence. I just want to, inshallah, mention some of these. Now, first of all, Ibrahim alayhi salam, one of the reasons he was Khalil of Allah is that Ibrahim, he will not love anyone for Allah whom Allah loves. Can you read the question at the end, inshallah, yeah? And he will not hate anyone except whom Allah hates. So his love and hate is only for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And he showed that to the people after he conveyed the message of Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jalla. He showed that. So that's one of the things that he had in his heart. Love and hate for Allah. Okay? Not for anyone else. Also, he's known as Khalil. Allah took him as a Khalil because of the ibtila. Allah tried him. Allah tried Ibrahim alayhi salam to the outmost. And he proved his love of Allah is greater than anything else. First of all, Allah tried him with the sacrifice of his son, Ismail alayhi salam. Obviously, we know the story. Now, this is for him to realize that he needs to sacrifice his son for the sake of Allah. Allah commanded him. Look at the subhanallah, look at the pain he was going through. He thought he was going to need a sacrifice. Obviously, Allah made it easy for him. That's for the sake of Allah. My love of Allah is greater than this, and I have to do it. He loved his son so much, but he's going through this for the sake of Allah. Obviously, Allah testing him. He passed the test. And it wasn't him, he didn't sacrifice his son, but Allah replaced him with a sheep. Allah gave him something else to sacrifice, not his son. He passed the trial. Ulama says that this is the biggest reason why he became Khalil of Allah. Allah took him Khalil because of this is the main reason why. Also, when Allah Azza wa Jalla commanded him, another trial, to leave his son Ismail and Hajar in the middle of a desert. Have you seen desert? Can you imagine leaving your wife and your baby child in a desert, subhanallah? No water, nothing. But Allah has planned something for him. But he left it for the sake of Allah. He put trust in Allah. And he left them and he walked away. And his wife came and said, are you doing this because Allah commanded you to do? He nodded his head. He said, leave us with Allah. Oh, we know the story, Zamzam came and all that. But the point is the trust that he had for Allah. He left it to Allah. Allah commanded him, he left it. So it's trial like this, then he was thrown into the fire. Look what happened, Allah saved him. So he went through many trials in his life. And he became the Khalil of Allah. Allah took him as a Khalil. Okay? Allah took him as a Khalil. And also in the Quran, Allah said, also the ayah, Inna Ibrahim kana ummatan qanitan lillah. That indeed Ibrahim alayhi salam is ummah qanitan lillah. And we covered the ayah. This is also evidence that he's a Khalil of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah described him with these 4 sifat that he never described any other prophet. Also, Allah says in the Quran, ثُمَّ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ أَنِ اتَّبِعْ مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Surah An-Nahl, ayah 1 to 3. Allah said to Muhammad ثُمَّ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ. Then we reveal to you, Muhammad, that you follow the millah of Ibrahim, i.e. the deen of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Okay? And he's Hanif, and he's not among the disbelievers. Shows that the status of Ibrahim alayhi salam shows that the piety of Ibrahim alayhi salam, for Allah to tell Muhammad alayhi salam to follow the way of Ibrahim. Nobody else. Allah never commanded anyone, or Allah never commanded the Prophet to follow any Prophet except Ibrahim alayhi salam. Subhanallah. In fact, when Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu was walking with a Torah, and he said, and he hid the Torah, and Prophet realized it. He said, "Yeah, Umar, if Musa was alive here now, you would have no choice but to follow me." Opposite. But here Allah is telling Muhammad, follow Ibrahim. Subhanallah. And so this is also one of the ayah, showed the virtues of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Why Allah took him as a Khalil? You know? Allah says in the Quran, وَإِبْرَاهِيمَ الَّذِي وَفَّى. And Ibrahim is the Waffa. Ibrahim, the one with Waffa. Waffa, the ulama have explained many tafsir. One, Waffa, they say, the one who saw in a dream that he's sacrificing his son Ismail alayhi salam. Some of the Mufassirun, Mujahid, Sa'id bin Jubair, Qatada, they said, الَّذِي يُقِيمُ مَا أَمَرَ اللَّهُ بِهِ وَبَلَّغَ الرِّسَالَةَ. That the one who established what Allah commanded him to do, and he conveyed the message to the people. He fulfilled his command. He fulfilled the commandment of Allah Azza wa Jal. He had dawam, he had persistence in obeying Allah Azza wa Jal. That's what waffa means, some of the tafasir said. So Allah praised Ibrahim alayhi salam. So these are some of the reasons why Allah Azza wa Jal took him as a Khalil, Ibrahim alayhi salam. So continue with that, inshallah, my brothers. We go to the next hadith. Okay, we're talking about Ibrahim alayhi salam. We'll go to the next hadith. طيب. طيب. Let me read the hadith inshallah. عن حسين بن عبد الرحمن قال كنت عند سعيد بن جبير. So Hussein bin Abdul Rahman is one of the tabi'in. Okay? And he said, I was with Sa'id bin Jubayr, one of the tabi'i as well. فقال سعيد بن جبير said, فقال أيكم رأى الكوكب الذي انقض بارحة. So Sa'id bin Jubayr is saying that, which one of you seen the shooting star? Basically, that's what it is. Shooting star. Bariha, last night. So he's talking about evening now. Because shooting star doesn't happen except in the evening. فقلت, so Hussein bin Abdul Rahman said, I've seen it. ثم قلت أما إني لم أكن في الصلاة. So he says that I saw the shooting star, but I wasn't praying. Why was he saying that? He's saying that he doesn't want him to think that I'm doing Qiyamul Layl or doing something righteous. So he doesn't want to make him feel something he never did. So he's humbling himself. Said, I wasn't praying, I was just there, I saw it. I saw the shooting star that took place on that night. وَلَكِنْ لُدِغْتُ. But I was beaten by a scorpion. Okay? Scorpion, it doesn't kill you, but it's got poison. It can hurt you a lot. So Sa'id bin Jubayr, when he heard it, he said, so what did you do? What have you done? It's painful, you can't just sit there, go do something, isn't it? So قلت, and Hussein bin Abdul Rahman said, I said, irtaqaytu. I've taken ruqya. So ruqya is a medication, a remedies that you read the Quran and you blow on it. Okay? And ruqya are two types. Ruqya can be halal and ruqya can be haram. One of the companion asked about ruqya. He said, show me how you do it. As long as there's no shirk in it, it's okay. Because you can do ruqya calling jinns and things like that. Because the Jahiliyyah, the Sahaba, before they became Muslim, they used to do ruqya in shirkiyat and things like that. So Prophet said, as long as there is no shirk, la bas, no problem with that. So ruqya is part of our practice of the Prophet ﷺ. Prophet did ruqya, okay, Jibril did on Prophet, Aisha did on Prophet, Prophet did on Aisha. They did ruqya to one another. And the best ruqya is one we do ourselves. When we go to sleep, we read Ayatul Kursi. These are part of ruqya as well. So he said, I did the ruqya. Now ruqya, my brothers, is that it has conditions. The conditions of ruqya. The first is, which is the shart actually, the condition you have to have that, which is the tawakkul ala Allah. At-Tawakkul ala Allah. You have to trust in Allah. Okay? You can't trust anyone other than Allah Azza wa Jal. Not Raqi or anything. That's the first thing. Second condition of ruqya is that to recite the Quran, or to Allah's names and attributes. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. To Allah belong the beautiful name and call by them. So you can read the Quran and blow on it. That's the second condition. Some of the ulama says, even if you don't use Quran, if you use other mubah, things that mubah, like leaves and other things, herbal, it's okay. Okay. Thirdly is that you have to be in a language that people understand. Okay. So if you're gonna read Quran, khalas, you read the Quran, you blow it. So you have to be in a language that's clear and people can understand, no shaitanic word and things like that. And the fourth one is that it cannot be shirk. Cannot be shirk in it. You can't call other than Allah Azza wa Jal. That's why you read the Quran or you call by Allah Azza wa Jal. So these are some of the conditions of ruqya, because the mushrikun need to do ruqya, but they committed shirk billah Azza wa Jal. So he said, I did ruqya. And you know, in the Jahiliyyah, when someone died, they would say, وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقٍ. You know the tafsir of this ayah, and they would say, where is the raqi? When someone died, they call raqi to bring the person alive. How can you do ruqya on a deceased? The person is dead. But they call for raqi when someone dies in the family member. Subhanallah. He said, irtaqaytu. I did ruqya. قال فما حملك على ذلك. So Sa'id bin Jubair, he's asking him a question now. And this is ilmi. He said, what caused you to do that? So you've done ruqya, you have to do it based on Quran and Sunnah. You don't just do it top of your head. So what is the evidence for you to do that? Ya Hussein bin Abdul Rahman. He said, Hadith haddathana Sha'bi. Hadith, so he's giving sanad now. See the sanad. So if someone were to say something to you, akhi, I'm doing this in Ramadan, blah, 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 blah. He said, where's your dalil? You're worshipping Allah. Give me dalil. Okay, that's the evidence. So he's saying hadith narrated by Sha'bi. And this sanad is a strong sanad. So Sha'bi is a tabi'i. One of the tabi'i, great imam. قال وما حدثكم. And who narrated to him? What did he narrate to you? He said, قلت حدثنا عن بريدة بن حسيب. Look at the sanad. So he's saying the Sha'bi reports from Burayda, who is the Sahabi. So he studied under Burayda, who is a student of Burayda, Sha'bi, and he said this. So what it is, this is what it is. So he narrates the hadith now. So he's going to bring evidence for what he has done. So I didn't just do it top of my head. That's how we should live, isn't it? We should have evidence for what we do in any part of our deen. He said, the hadith, Burayda said, the Prophet said that, لا رقية إلا من عين أو حمى إلا من عين أو حمة. So here the hadith says that, Prophet said that there is no ruqya except for evil eye and huma. So he used for huma is a poison, something you're beaten by a scorpion or something like that. So you can do ruqya for that. Let's talk about ayn now. Let's talk about ayn. What is ayn? Ayn is eyes, but it's evil eye we're talking about. Okay. Now ayn in the Quran Allah said, وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. From the evil of the one who gives evil eye. The ulama says every ayn hasid, walaysa kullu hasid ayn. They said that everyone who gives a lie is a hasid. envy has envy, but not everyone who has envy does evil eye. Because when you seek protection from Allah from envy, you're seeking protection from Allah from the evil eye. What is evil eye? Evil eye is someone who gives you, someone doesn't say MashaAllah. Someone does not say MashaAllah, then that's evil eye. So we have to see, when we see something good, we say MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. Oh MashaAllah even, yeah, MashaAllah. Because it is from Allah Azza wa Jalla. A lot of incidents that I've heard and I've seen, subhanallah, when they see something good, and they don't say MashaAllah, something happens. You're not praising Allah. So that's an evil eye. And scholars of hadith of Aisha in Abi Dawud, Shaykh al-Albani makes it sahih, that if someone gives you evil eye, and you know someone giving evil eye, the cure is that the person who is giving you evil eye should make wudu, and the person who is affected by it should have a bath in that. That's the cure of it. That's the way to do it in the hadith. Okay? So we can give evil eye to ourselves. Subhanallah. And you can give evil eye to your kids and your family, everyone. So we always have to say MashaAllah. And Prophet said in the hadith, Al-Aynul Haq. إذا كان شيء سابق القدر لسبقته العين. Okay? That he said, Ayn, evil eye is reality. If there's anything that will precede the decree of Allah, that will be the evil eye. It will advance the qadr of Allah. That's how evil it is. The Ayn. Subhanallah. So Ayn is haq. It is haq. In the hadith, the Prophet Sahabiya called Asma. Asma, she said, Ya Rasulullah, inna bani Ja'far tusibihum al-ayn. Afa nastarqi lahum. So Prophet, she said that, Ya Rasulullah, the Bani Ja'far, okay, they afflicted with evil eye. Shall we look for a raqi? But here she didn't say, Afa narqi lahum. Shall we give them ruqyah? No, she says, shall we seek someone to give ruqyah? So you can seek for ruqyah. Inshallah, we'll cover the next topic. So Prophet said, yes, na'am, do that. Then he said, لو كان شيئا سابق القدر لسبقته العين. That if there's anything that will advance the decree of Allah, that will be the evil eye. So evil eye is haq, is reality. I know people get affected by evil eye, subhanallah. So we have to say MashaAllah. And if someone got a brand new car, and you have to say MashaAllah. If you don't, he's driving, happen to somebody. So it's very dangerous. So we have to be careful, inshallah. So here hadith says, لا رقية إلا من عين أو حمة. So what the ulama says, there's no ruqya except for evil eye, and if you're beaten by a scorpion or something like that, you got a poison. Okay? So they say that it doesn't mean you can't do ruqya for anything other than that. It means that this is the best two things you can do ruqya for. Okay? You can do ruqya for sihr and all that, but they say this is the best thing for ruqya, for evil eye, and someone is beaten by a scorpion or something like that. So he got this evidence. Sa'id bin Jubayr didn't reprimand him. He said, قَدْ أَحْسَنَ مَنْ انْتَهَى إِلَى مَا سَمِعَ. So it's best to stop what you've heard. When you stopped on the hadith, khalas, you've done the hadith, you practiced your hadith, alhamdulillah. But then Sa'id bin Jubayr brings another hadith. He brings another hadith, and he's bringing hadith from Ibn Abbas. And Ibn Abbas is the teacher of Sa'id bin Jubayr, rahimahullah. عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أُرِدَتْ عَلَيَّ الْأُمَمِ. It was shown to me nations. Ummah is singular, is plural. فَرَأَيْتُ نَبِي وَمَعَهُ رَحَبْ. I saw prophet with group, and I saw prophet with rajul wa rajulan. So Allah showing Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now, Yawmul Qiyamah, okay, group of people. He saw prophet with group of people, he saw prophet with one follower, he saw prophet with two followers. So this is evidence to say that just because nobody will accept your da'wah, doesn't mean your da'wah is not accepted. Prophet will come in front of Allah with no followers. They all disbelieved him. Are we going to say, oh Prophet, your da'wah is not accepted by Allah, a'udhu billah. He did it for the sake of Allah. Allah did not guide the person. Allah knows best. So we can use this evidence to say, not everyone has to accept your da'wah. It doesn't mean it's successful just because no one accepting of Tawheed, you're teaching books of Tawheed, but it's still upon shirk. I'm not here to guide their heart. I'm just conveying the message. It doesn't mean Allah is not accepting your da'wah. La. Look, Prophet with no followers, subhanallah. Okay? وَالنَّبِي لَيْسَ مَعَهُ أَحَدٍ. And I saw a Prophet with no followers. They're by themselves. Stand in front of Allah. إِذْ رُفِعَ لِي سَوَادٌ عَظِيمٌ. So it was raised, shown him Sawadun Azim. Sawadun Azim is, Sawad refers to blackness, Sauda. So what Sauda does mean here? With ulama said, a lot of people. I was shown a lot of people. And you know when you have a lot of people and if you see a bird eye view, what color does it look like? Black, innit? It looks like black. That's what it is. Sawadun Azim. A lot of people. And the name, and then Imam al-Laka'i brings in a hadith, Alaykum Sawadul A'zam. Alaykum Sawadul A'zam. Upon you to follow the greatest number. Shaykh explains it. Prophet said this to the Sahaba. Upon you to follow the greatest number of people. Now someone might say, look at here, the Prophet telling us to follow the greatest numbers. Look, we are following everybody. This is at that time. At the time of Rasulullah. Shaykh Salih explained this. He said, at the time of Prophet Sallallahu because everybody was upon haqq. The Sahabas, Tabi'in. Okay, in his time there was no Tabi'in, but the first 2 generations. So Prophet ﷺ, in his time there was Sahaba and they upon khair, they guided. So the greatest numbers of the people at that time were all upon khair, upon upon sunnah. So you can follow everyone there at that time. But now we can't. We can't take the hadith now and practice it because not everybody upon sunnah, upon bid'ah and things like that. So we can't apply the hadith now. We can't. So that was referring at that time. So he was shown a great number of people. فَظَنَنْتُ أَنَّهُمْ أُمَّتِي. So I thought they are my people. فَقِيلَ لِي هَذَا مُوسَى وَقَوْمُهُ. Then it was said that this is Musa and his people. Because Musa alayhi salam will have the second greatest followers after Prophet alayhi salam. And he will be raised from the qabr after Prophet alayhi salam. So Musa alayhi salam will have the second number of followers. فَنَظَرْتُ فَإِذَا سَوَادٌ عَظِيمٌ. Then I looked again. Then I saw another greater number of people, but it's greater than that. More than that. فَقِيلَ لِي هَذِهِ أُمَّتُكْ يَا Muhammad. Then it will be said to him, Ya Muhammad, this is your ummah, your followers. وَمَعَهُمْ 70,000 يَدْخُلُونَ الْجَنَّةَ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ وَلَا عَذَابٍ. From this ummah of your people, 70,000 will enter Jannah without any hisab and adab. They will have no judgment. You'll be just giving the book to them for them to read, and there'll be no punishment for them. But the ulama explained that with 70,000 there's another 70,000 as well, inshallah. So inshallah in that as well. Allah make it different. I mean, tayyib. So 70,000 of the Ummah of Prophet will enter Jannah without hisab wala adab. He stopped there, Prophet. The Sahaba, they heard it. You know, Sahaba, they're craving to learn the haqq, isn't it? They want to know the truth. Who are these people? ثُمَّ نَحَضَ فَدَخَلَ مَنْزِلًا. Prophet got up and he entered the house. So they didn't go. The Sahaba didn't just walk out. They're sitting there. So let's find out what is going on here. So they start talking to themselves. They want to know who these people. Can you imagine 70,000 enter Jannah without hisab and adab? Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. We want to be one of those people. But then he said, don't worry, man, we are Sahaba. We fear not, then who's going to be? They feared for themselves. They feared for themselves. So they stood there. فَخَادَ النَّاسُ فِي أُولَٰئِكَ. They're talking to themselves. So they're coming with opinions. فَقَالَ بَعْضُهُمْ لَعَلَّهُمُ الَّذِي صَحِبُ رَسُولُ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. Some of them say maybe they're the companion who accompanied Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, maybe those one. فَقَالَ بَعْضُهُمْ فَلَعَلَّهُمُ الَّذِي وُلِدُوا فِي الْإِسْلَامِ وَلَمْ يُشْرِكُوا بِهِ اللَّهِ شَيْئًا. Maybe those who born in Islam and they never associate anything with Allah Azza wa Jalla in worship. It could be one of those. So they're giving the suggestion, obviously, they mention some of they mention it to one another, could be those people, but that's not revelation. The Prophet comes out now. فَخَرَجَ عَلَيْهِمْ رَسُولُ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم فَأَخْبَرُوهُم. Then he came out and he told them who these people are. That's the evidence of the hadith. What we spoke about the hadith, that's not evidence, but it's benefit. But this is the evidence of the chapter. Okay? And then Prophet said, هم الذين لا يسترقون ولا يكتون ولا يتطيرون وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. You know those 70,000 will enter Jannah without any hisab or adhab because of this. They do not, لا يسترقون. يسترقون means لا يطلبون رقية. They do not seek ruqyah. But Islamically, we can't take this ayah and say, brother, die, kill you. Don't go for ruqyah. You have to die. La. The ulama explained it. You don't behave like this. We take the asbab. Prophet took asbab in jihad. In the hadith, tadawi Abdullah, wala tadawi al-haram. Hadith, ya slave of Allah, look for remedies, but do not look haram way. Do not look haram way. Look for halal way. Okay? Prophet did ruqyah to himself, to Aisha, vice versa. Jibril did ruqyah as well. So, yastarqun here mean that to seek ruqyah. Brother, can you give me ruqyah? So they don't even do that. There's a narration, la yarqun, which is da'if. Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned this because contradicting the other hadith. The Prophet did ruqyah. Did he himself, did it on Aisha, Aisha did it on him. So they did ruqyah. So the hadith is weak. The version which says la yarqun. So here la yastarqun. So they do not seek ruqyah. But as we have said, we have to take the mean asbab for cure. And Allah said, Tadaw. Prophet said, Tadaw, ya Abdullah. O slave of Allah, seek for remedy. As long as you don't seek haram way. Okay? La yastarqun. So they do not seek ruqyah. Wala yaktun. Yaktun is kay, which is cauterization, using fire and things like that. The ulama is makruh, because you're burning your skin. Okay? Should avoid that. They don't even do that. Okay? They leave that as well. وَعَلَى وَلَا يَتَطَيَّرُونَ. And they do not do tira. Tira is seeking omens. You know, in Jahiliyyah, they used to seek omens many different ways. Omens with month. So these are all shaitanic actions. They say, if your son born in Ramadan, mashallah, Sha'ban, la. You know, they use different months for different things. So if they're born in different month, okay, it's bad luck, it's not good. They use these months for tira, okay? They use it for, like we have this in our country as well. In my country we have it. If you walk under a ladder, oh, it's bad luck. You shouldn't be doing that. If you drop salt, oh no, something might happen to you now. You know? They do this. Our people, they do this. You're too young, people, you won't know that. But I've seen people do that. I was brainwashed as well. You learn it. It's in your blood. Oh no, you drop salt, something will happen to you now. And they will say, if you accidentally hit somebody on his head like this, oh no, something will happen to you now. And you believe it. And you boot up brainwashed like this. So, and if a black cat pass front of you, you're going to have so many years of bad luck. They teach you these things. Wallahi. So, some of the books of Tawheed, they mention these things. End of the day, nothing will happen except by the will of Allah. This is Tawheed of Allah. This goes against the Tawheed of Allah. How can you say this cat in front of me is going to cause something happen to me now? A'udhu billah. Everything happened by the qadr of Allah. So that's not nawaqid, but it will make your Tawheed weak. Astaghfirullah. So this thing we don't believe. Everything happened by the hand of, by the qadr of Allah Azza wa Jal. So yatatayyarun, you know, they bad omens, also part of good omen as well. So for example, if you born certain month, you're good luck. If they travel, they will get a bird and let it fly. If it goes left, it's bad, don't travel today, it's bad luck for you. Okay? If you travel on the right, okay, go. It's okay, good luck for you. Okay? So they use this in Jahiliyyah, they used to use these things to determine their future. Niyadu billah. And this is all against Tawheed of Allah. Qadr of Allah. A'udhu billah. So, وَلَا يَتَطَيَّرُونَ. You know, they will not depend on any of this. Why? Because وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. And they will put their trust in Allah Azza wa Jalla. And that's the biggest thing. Tawakkul. And the tawakkul is that once you believe Allah, the Lord of the heaven and the earth, nothing happens except by the will of Allah. okay, our tawakkul should be upon Allah Azza wa Jal. But the ulama says that when you make tawakkul with taking the asbab. Okay? You put trust in Allah, but you need to do whatever you need to do. If you want to look for a job, put trust in Allah, but go and do what you need to do, look for the job. Pass your exam, things like that. So, inshallah, this is the hadith explaining tahqiq al-Tawheed, those who fulfill the Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is because of this. And these 70,000 who enter Jannah because of this. But it wasn't finished. فقام عكاشة bin Mahsim. Ukash is Sahabi radiallahu anhu. He got up and said, Ya Rasulullah, Ud'u Allah yaj'alani minhum. Ya Rasul, make dua that Allah make me one of them. He said, Anta minhum. You're one of them. Yani you will enter Jannah without any hisab wala adhab. You will enter Jannah without any punishment, without any reckoning. ثم قام رجل آخر فقال ادعو الله يجعلني منهم فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سبقك بها عكاش. So another man got up and said, Ya Rasulullah, make dua that I'm one of them as well. So Rasulullah said, Ukash has preceded you. He didn't say, no, you're not one of them. Look at the adab of Rasul. The way he said it, he said, Sabaqaka biha Ukash. Ukash has advanced you, preceded you in that. So it's where Prophet responded to him as an adab, as a good manner, that, this is how he is. So my brothers, the tahqiq of Tawheed from this hadith is the last part of the hadith we just covered. Inshallah, so we'll go to the next part of the hadith, the next chapter inshallah, chapter 3. So we've covered man haqqa tawhidana bighayri hisab, that whoever fulfills the tawhid of Allah will enter Jannah without any hisab. Everyone clear with that inshallah. So we'll go to the next chapter. We won't do everything, but let's start the next chapter inshallah. The next chapter is Babul Khawf min al-Shirk. Okay? Fearing from shirk. First of all, what is shirk? What is shirk billah? In the hadith of Prophet ﷺ, hadith Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, سئل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما هو الشرك؟ قال أن يجعل لله ندا وهو خلقه. This is a hadith, you can use it inshallah. Prophet was asked, what is shirk? He said, to make partner with Allah or give likeness to Allah who created you. That's one of the definition of shirk in the hadith. Another one, Shaykhul-Islam Wahhab said that shirk was da'watu ghayruhu ma'ahu, to invoke other than Allah or worship other than Allah. That's another definition you can use to say what is shirk. Now shirk are many types. Shirk is subhanallah, so many types of shirk. But the ulama, they explain shirk, they categorize it. They say shirkul akbar, shirkul asghar, shirkul khafi. Okay? Khafi is asghar anyway. Major shirk, minor shirk, and hidden shirk. Hidden shirk is the minor one anyway. So major shirk can be done many different ways. Major shirk is the shirk that takes you out of fold of Islam and it casts you to hell for eternity. It nullifies all your actions and it takes the person in the hell for eternity. That's major shirk. That's major shirk. A minor shirk, the hadith says that أخوف ما أخاف عليكم الشرك الأصغر وسئل قال الرياء, that what I fear for you most is minor shirk. And they say, what is minor shirk? Prophet says, showing off. We'll cover all this one by one. But this is the type of shirk. There is shirk in mahabba, shirk in love, shirk in tawakkul, in hope, fear, in shirk in legislation. There's 4 different forms of shirk. Shirk in rububiyyah, uluhiyyah, asma sifat. There are 4 different types of shirk. But I'm going to mention inshallah something like, when we commit shirk with Allah Azza wa Jal, we are making tashbih, we are giving likeness to Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? And giving likeness to Allah are 2 types of likeness. Tashbih al-makhluq bil-khaliq wa tashbih khaliq bil-makhluq. The ulama mentioned this in Tahawiyah and they talk about this. Tashbih makhluq bil-khaliq, likeness of creation with Allah. That is to give the attributes of Allah to the creation. Okay, how? To give the uluhiyyah of Allah. The sifat of Allah, al-uluhiyyah, is given it to the creation, i.e. to worship someone other than Allah. Okay, so when you worship idols, when you worship human, this worship is for Allah. You have given it to the creation. You made Allah tashbih. You made the creation like Allah by giving the attributes of Allah to the creation, by worshipping them. Okay, because uluhiyya is for Allah. These attributes for Allah Azza wa Jal. So when you worship other than Allah, you made Allah like the creation by giving the attributes of Allah to the creation. Or to say, I love Allah as much as I love my family, for example, mahabba. And this is shirk. This is shirk makhluk bil khaliq. Because you have made Allah like the creation by giving the attributes of Allah to the creation. You have no attribute, but the love of Allah should be greater. Made it like the love of creation. You made it similar. Okay? And Allah speaks about this in the Quran. Allah says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَتَّخِذُ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ أَندَادًا يُحِبُّونَهُمْ كَحُبِّ اللَّهِ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. That Allah talks about among the people who have made andad, likeness to Allah, by loving Allah as much as they love their idols. But the believers, the love for Allah is greater than anything else. So mushrikun, they used to love Allah, but they say we love Allah as much as we love the creation, our idols. They made tashbih. They give andad. They made, so that's shirk in mahabba. Also, so that's tashbih makhluk bil khaliq. Okay, the other one, tashbih al khaliq bil makhluk, which is giving the attributes of creation to Allah. Giving the attributes of creation to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And this is in the Quran. Allah said, وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ عُزَيْرِ ibn Allah وَقَالَتِ النَّصَارَى الْمَسِيحُ ibn Allah. Okay? The Yahud says that Uzair is son of Allah. Who's Uzair? Uzair, Rasulullah said in Abu Dawud, Uzair, la adri hal huwa nabi am la. Hadith Sunan Abi Dawud, Prophet said that Uzairun la adri hal huwa nabi am la. I don't know Uzair is a prophet or not. I don't know. But he's a righteous man. Ibn Kathir said, Bidayah Nihaya, he's a righteous man from Bani Israel. Okay? So he did something for Bani Israel, Uzair, and they say, whatever he's done, he must have been son of Allah. So they say, Jews said, that Uzair is son of Allah. So, and the Christians said, Isa is son of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So they made Rasulullah, Isa, son of Allah, and they made Uzair son of Allah, the Jews. So, having son is the attributes of who? It's the creation, isn't it? Human being, animals, okay, creation. So when you say Allah has a son, he begotten son, you've given the attributes of creation to Allah. Okay, which is tashbih al-khaliq bil makhluk. You made Allah like the creation by giving the attributes of creation to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Okay. Also, like if you say the mushabbihun, they say we believe Allah has a hand, but His hand is like our hand. Okay, so they give the attributes of creation to Allah. So that's tashbih al-khaliq bil makhluk. Because these are two types of tashbih. The ulama talk. We'll talk more inshallah in the books. Ibn Qayyim says that the first type of tashbih, likeness, al-makhluk bil khaliq, is predominant in the world, which is to worship other than Allah, giving the khasa'is of Allah, sifat of Allah, attributes of Allah to the creation, okay, which He deserves, is given to the creation, by worshipping other than Allah. This is predominant everywhere in the world. This type of tashbih is everywhere. Okay, ikhwan? So, this when we commit shirk billah azza wa jal, we are making tashbih to Allah. And these are different types of tashbih. And fearing from shirk is something that we all have to fear. And part of our iman, part of fulfilling Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal, that we have to fear shirk. Nobody feel confident that I don't fear from shirk. If you look at the Anbiya, if you look, quote some of the ayat, if you look at the prophets, the Salaf al-Salih, they all feared nifaq, they all feared shirk, they all feared everything. Subhanallah. None of the people felt that I'm safe. Subhanallah. Umar bin Khattab feared nifaq, so much so that he went to Hudayb al-Yaman and said, am I one of those the Prophet mentioned to you? Out of fear. You know? Subhanallah. If you look at the Sahaba, they feared the azab of Allah. You know? So Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu used to say, I wish I'm a grass. animal eats when they finish. It's not because he's showing his displeasure that he's created by Allah. No, his fear of Allah caused him to say that, I wish I'm a grass, the animal eats me and the khalas, I'm finished. Out of fear of Allah, they would say this. The report says that Fatima bint Abdul Malik, the wife of Umar bin Abdul Aziz, radiallahu anhu, Umar bin Abdul Aziz, he said Umar had so much fear of Allah bin Abdul Aziz that he will turn in the bed left and right, like usfur, like sparrow, because of fear of Allah Azza wa Jalla. You know, so the Salaf feared Allah so much, Prophet feared so much. Like Abdul ibn Abbas had, he had, subhanallah, under his eyes, like a black robe here like this, thing going down, because of fear. He used to cry so much out of fear of Allah. Abdul ibn Abbas, toward the end of his life, he became blind. And the doctor said, why don't you stop crying? The eyes will come back. He said, what's the point of having eyes that doesn't shed tears out of fear of Allah? So subhanallah, he lost his eyesight, but he continued. Abu Bakr, all the Salaf, these were the Salaf, to fear from sins and nifaq and shirk billah is part of our deen. If you don't fear, then something wrong with the iman. Continuing inshallah, let's take one verse. So what is the evidence that we should fear from shirk? The first ayah, Surah An-Nisa, Allah said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَن يُشْرَكَ بِهِ وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَن يَشَاءُ. Indeed, Allah does not forgive whoever associates anything with Him, but He forgives anything lesser than that. Indeed, Allah doesn't forgive. So we'll cover what shirk is. Now this, the ulama discussed, this shirk is Allah talking about, is it major shirk or minor shirk? Shaykhul-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ibn Qayyim says it's all shirk. All form of shirk Allah does not forgive in dunya unless you make tawbah. The rule they use, let me explain the rule here, that they have evidence why they say this. They say, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَن يُشْرَكَ بِهِ. So here, Allah used shirk in indefinite form. It comes after nafi, negation, mean general, every shirk. So another way of saying it is, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ إِشْرَاكُ بِهِ. Ishraku bih. So ishrak comes, the word ishrak comes after nafi, negation, prohibition or negation. That means any shirk. General, any shirk. Any shirk Allah does not forgive. Okay? So one of the opinions is that it means any shirk that you commit with Allah in this dunya and you die upon it, Allah will never forgive you. Okay? The second opinion is that, which is most authentic opinion. Apparently Shaykhul-Islam retracted his opinion and he said only major shirk. This Shaykh mentioned in Kitab at-Tawheed. Okay? Apparently he had this view. So second opinion is that it is am, the ayah is general but specific. Why? Because Shaykh says that here, that when Allah talks about shirk, major shirk, when Allah talks about threat of shirk, the severity of the shirk, it's only major shirk Allah talks about. Let me give you some of the examples. This ayah, Allah does not forgive whoever associates anything with Him. That's major shirk He's talking about. He doesn't forgive major shirk. Whoever faces Allah yawm al-qiyamah. Like the verse Allah said, إِنَّهُ مَنْ يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ الْجَنَّةِ وَمَأْوَاهُ النَّارِ وَمَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ مِنْ أَنصَارٍ. Indeed, the one who ever associates anything with Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah will forgive him and his abode will be in the hellfire. This major shirk Allah is talking about. لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ لَيَحْبَطَنَّ عَمَلُكَ وَلَتَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. That if you were to associate anything with Allah Azza wa Jal, all your actions will be nullified and you definitely will be doomed in the hellfire. So the Shaykh Saleh says, is the second opinion, it is major shirk only, because when Allah talks about shirk like this, He talks about major shirk. It's not minor shirk. You'll be doomed in the hellfire, you will not be forgiven. Things like this is only major shirk Allah is talking about. Another ayah Allah said, مثل الذين كفروا بربهم أعمالهم كرماد اشتد به في يوم عاصف. Those who disbelieve in Allah Azza wa Jal with their actions, it's like a dust is thrown away by the wind. Okay, that's kufr. Major kufr Allah is talking about, not the minor one. So anything like this ayah is talking about major shirk. Major shirk. It's not the minor shirk. So this ayah is general, but it's specifically for major. Okay, we mentioned last week, isn't it? That Allah, sometimes you can have general, mean general. Sometimes you can mean general, but specific, it means specific. We gave some of the example last week. So Allah does not forgive anything, any shirk. Shows that we have to fear shirk, isn't it? He doesn't forgive. He does not forgive shirk. We should fear shirk. Billah Azza wa Jal. وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ. But He forgives anything lesser than that. That's the Rad ala Khawarij. You know the Khawarij, they said if you commit major sin, Allah doesn't forgive you. But Allah forgives anything lesser than that. A major sin is lesser than shirk. And Allah forgives that. So anything lesser than that could be major sin. Like adultery, murder, disobeying your parents, eating interest, backbiting, slandering, or any major sin you can talk about fall under this ayah. وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ. He forgive anything other than that. Okay? So this ayah, I'm sure you've understood now, is evidence that we have to fear shirk. Because He doesn't forgive shirk. So when you hear that Allah doesn't forgive shirk, you should fear that. Subhanallah. You should put fear in our heart that, subhanallah, we have to abandon shirk. And the only way we can abandon, that we should learn about Tawheed of Allah, learn about shirk of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Shirk, what is shirk? So this is the first ayah. I hope you understood. The evidence, fear of shirk, falling into shirk. Yadu billah. So I'll take the question now, inshallah, and any clarification I'll do that now. Jazakumullah. Any su'al, any questions? MashaAllah. Go on. Inshallah. Go on.
You know the hadith about 7,000. Which part of that was weak?
Weak.
Yeah, because you know how they said that towards the end of it, it says that there are people who don't take ruqya, but then the Prophet sought ruqya. So then, what's the weak? Where's the weakness?
No, there's no weakness.
So you said that.
The other riwayah it says la yara. You said la yara.
Oh, okay. There's la yastarqoon. The narration says la yarqoon.
Oh, okay.
That contradicts the action of Prophet. He did it himself. So Shaykhul-Islam says, Ibn Taymiyyah, this is ghalat, this is a mistake, it's wrong. It's yastarqoon, la yastarqoon.
The four conditions of ruqya again?
Okay, the first four conditions of ruqya is the first, and this is the must, lazim, you have to have it, tawakkul upon Allah Azza wa Jalla. Trust. Ruqya, you have to have trust in Allah only. Second condition of ruqya is that is Allah's names and attributes, Quran, But they say even if you use any herbal thing, it's okay, nothing wrong with that. Imam Shafi allows it as well. So others, as long as it is not shirkiyat, it is a herbal thing. Best is the Quran. Best is Allah's names and attributes in the Quran. Yeah. The third condition is that you have to use the language that people understand. Okay, no shaitanic word and things like that. The fourth one is there cannot be shirk. We'll cover in this book, inshallah, the ruqya of the Jahiliyyah. They do ruqya, but they have shirk in it. That's why the one that Sahabi came in and they asked him about ruqya, asked Rasul about ruqya. He said, "Show me how you do it. Show me." Okay, as long as there's no shirk in it, la bas, there's no problem with that. So these are the four conditions of ruqya, inshallah. And ruqya should be done. Somebody been doing for years. When you do ruqya, you create enemies. You create enemy with the jinn. The brothers who does the ruqya, they told us, subhanallah, 5 salah isn't enough. You have to do adhkar. You have to do pray in the jama'ah. It's so much. So raqi goes through many things. You have to be strong in iman. But good job, alhamdulillah. You tanfa'u nas, you benefiting the people, but you have to be ready with the Quran, adhkar and everything. So it's mashallah, you benefit, is something, take it yawmul qiyamah, Allah Akbar. Because the community they're drowning in it. They're drowning in it, subhanallah.
How do you know if you done evil eye? Because usually, sometimes it's not straight away.
Which one?
How do you know who done evil eye? Because sometimes it's not straight away, or you don't know.
Sometimes how would you know? For example, you look into yourself in the mirror or something and you praise yourself, you don't say mashallah. Yeah, something like that. You realize later on, nobody ever done this. I know somebody, they had relative and his daughter was eating a lot, mashallah. And he said, oh, you eating a lot? Wow. He didn't say mashallah. He said a few times. But that daughter of his, subhanallah, something happened. She stopped eating, can't eat, her character changed. And they realized, the affected, later on you realize it from that. You know, a brother told me, he bought a brand new car. And he's driving it, I think BMW or something, and his cousin came, oh, it's a nice car you bought. Say mashallah, mashallah. You got a nice car. Bang. He knocked. He said, literally I had a crash. Finish. You know it's from that effect.
Touching on your point, I thought you would say mashallah for yourself. And if it's for someone else, so let's say that brother has a nice car, I would say Allahu barik.
Yeah, because Allah barik. You're praising Allah Azza wa Jal. After you, mashallah, you got a nice car, Allah barik, a nice car. You know, anything like this, you go praise Allah. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. Something like this, you go, but if you just say you got a nice car, khalas, it's going to have an effect on that. So you have to praise Allah. It's from Allah Azza wa Jal. So even if you say Allah barik, you got a nice car, that's good. Yeah, mashallah, you got a nice car, you know, whatever, yeah. You okay, Akhi? Oh, good.
So I thought mashallah is only for yourself. As in,
No. Anything good you see khair. Anything khair you see mashallah. Yeah.
Say that you say Allah Mubarak.
No,
The
that makes
hadith is
difference.
I think Shaykh al-Albani said the hadith is da'if, the mashallah one. The other one is you make dua for the blessings in that hadith is sahih.
Yeah, you can do that as well. I mean, but when you say mashallah, you're praising Allah by saying this is only from Allah Azza wa Jal. But if it's Allah Mubarak, yeah, you're making dua, Allah blessing in that. So, I mean, either way, maybe the end of the day, the illah, you're praising Allah Azza wa Jal. MashaAllah, ulama says, there's nothing wrong with that, you're praising Allah. You have to say, MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. You know the ayah in Surah Kahf. So, you can use either of them, inshallah. But if it's Allah Mubarak, la bas, inshallah, either way, khair.
Yeah, just connected to what you said. I was watching a video by Asma al-Hakim saying, does mashallah prevent evil eye? He said that it doesn't.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, it doesn't prevent evil eye. He said you
No, not about evil eye. Anything good you see, anything khair, anything good, individual. So evil eye, you have to do ruqya. Evil eye, you have to do ruqya. And the hadith I've mentioned, Aisha, that person, if you know who done the evil eye, you have to get him to make wudu and batin on that. That's it. Not mashallah. You have to. That's the cure. Hadith Aisha. That's what you have to do.
So you talk about evil eye, you know, for example, the car example you gave. Someone
No, evil eye. You say mashallah because the car is good or something like that. So you praise Allah, yeah. And you should anyway. But it doesn't prevent. I mean, you should say it because it's Tawheed of Allah. You praise Allah Azza wa Jal. It's from Allah Azza wa Jal. And what should you prevent? You might prevent, inshallah.
so you're talking about the 70,000 people. So they have no hisab or adab. Does that mean that they skip other stages like the sirat?
No, they have to. Everyone have to cross sirat. Everyone have to cross the sirat. Hadith said that when it comes to crossing the sirat, the brother asking question is that those 70,000 will enter Jannah without hisab or adab. Are they going to have to? They have to cross the sirat. Full sirat, we say. Everyone have to, even Prophet have to cross the sirat. You know, subhanallah. Abdul bin Auf, radiallahu anhu, a Sahabi, most richest companion. Okay, Prophet said one hadith that his hisab going to be long. Ashara Mubashara, one of the granted paradise. And he said, I saw Abdul Rahman bin Auf, radiallahu anhu, crawling to Jannah because of his wealth. Okay, but he'll go Jannah. So everyone have to cross the bridge. Even Prophet have to cross the bridge. Everyone will be excluded from that. But the crossing the bridge is not same for everyone. Some will go blink of an eye. They won't even see the bridge. Some will be running as fast as a horse. Some will be running like a man. faster than man running. Some will be walking, some will be crawling, some will be falling into the hellfire. Munafiqun, the hypocrites, the kuffar, they will fall. They will go. But the Muslim will fall because of their sins. So subhanallah, so everybody have to cross that bridge. So those who will enter Jannah without any hisab, they're going to go. So it's the a'mal, it's the action. So because the Jannah is on the other side of the river, of the bridge. The bridge is on top of the Jahannam, and it's got Jahannam will strike as well. Subhanallah, it'll try to pull, and so only way we can save ourselves is through worship of Allah Azza wa Jal. The addition to that is that when you go on the other side of Jannah, you finish the rest. The last bit comes now. This is the last bit. When you pass that bit, then you go to Jannah. And that is between you brothers, among the brothers. You have any debts with your brother, you have a quarrel with your brother, you have a problem with your brother, you solve it now. Otherwise, when you say, I'll meet you Yawmul Qiyamah, that's the place. That's where you're going to meet him. So, a lot of brothers, subhanAllah, the worst thing is debts. People have debts, they don't pay the debts. The janazah is not prayed. And Yawmul Qiyamah, when you're going to meet him there, and now he's going to say, brother, remember I said I'm going to take you to Yawmul Qiyamah? Now we meet now. I want your action. You can take the good deed. Say, brother, can I give you the money, 5,000 pounds? Say, no money, brother. I want your action. No money. Give me a good deed. Prophet said, do you know the most bankruptcy one? To the companion, they gave all the answers. He said, La. A man will come to Allah Yawmul Qiyamah, good deed as mountain, and everybody will take his good deed. You backbited me, they give me money back, whatever. And eventually he will take their bad deed, and that man with good deed becomes no good deed. It's full of sins, and he ends up in hellfire.
Shaykh,
Subhanallah.
to ask you, if someone borrows money from another, but it's not one of those ones where it's like, they know they're going to pay it back, but it's not like, I really want the money, do you get what I mean? It's like, if you can give it, you give it.
If you make
So like, say if I didn't stipulate that I'm going to pay you back in whatever amount of days, it's just like, over a period of time, no issue. Does that fall under it, where they'll meet on that last stage?
No. The brother asking if the brother had a debt and he does stipulate when he's going to pay. I mean, you speak to the brother. Look, if he doesn't say I'm going to take it to Yawmul Qiyamah, then khalas, that's different. Then if you don't stipulate, but pay ASAP, because you don't know when you're going to die. Unless if he says that if you die, I forgive you, don't worry. Then alhamdulillah, you can relax and sleep very well, But if he says, no, I need the money quickly as possible, please, But he's generous. Even if you die, I think he's going to forgive you. So, but get rid of it, So, and don't go to Hajj. If you got money 5 grand, and you got debts 5 grand, what do? You pay the debts off. But if your brother says, Akhi, go and make Hajj, make dua for me, khalas, I've given you money for your Hajj. I don't know who's going to do that, but then khalas, different. But don't go Hajj when you have debts on you. Pay the debts first. Because one of the Sahabi, Muslim, died and he had the debts. Prophet didn't pay janazah. And Abu Dhar said, Ya Rasul, I'll pay debts off. Then Prophet prayed the janazah. Or he told them to pray the janazah. That's how bad it is. So, if you have a debt, you holding the man's tail, whatever you do, he's going to take it from you. So pay the debts off. Pay it off. This is something, subhanAllah, is painful. Can you imagine, even if you die in the battlefield, everything is forgiven except your debts. He owes you. You owe him money. And so can you imagine how bad it is? So try and pay off, inshallah. Speak to the brother, look, I'll pay ASAP once I get the money. And if he's a good brother, inshallah. And take money from a good brother who is generous. He's not rushing to take money from you. It's hard to pay debts back. If sum of money is very high, it's very difficult to pay back. Go on, Akhi.
If you are unsure if you gave evil eye, is a bad to accuse someone. So if you are unsure if someone gave evil eye, is a bad to accuse.
If you're not sure, then speak to some Raqi, those who can advise you, inshallah. Because evil eye has a side effect. It's a side effect. And so you have to speak to somebody who does ruqya and get advice from him. and tell him, inshallah, what it is. I don't do ruqya, so evil eye is somebody done onto, his character will change, be different.
You know, if the person that you know is Islam, but they refuse to make it.
No, you need evidence.
You never, don't suspect anyone, but get advice from Raqi, speak to them and see what they say here.
What if it is them and they say, yes, that's me, but...
If you know the person, speak to the person, and then inshallah.
You know, hasad is that action of the heart.
Yeah.
So how can you prove someone, how can you have evidence that someone's done?
You can't prove it, but if someone who those who does evil eye, give evil eye, they do it because of hasad, of jealousy. He doesn't want that from you. So if someone wants to do evil eye, it could be because he's jealous of you or something like that. Yeah, and it's not the other way around. Yeah, that's what the ulama says.
Is it intentional? Like evil eye?
Someone can do intentionally.
It can be unintentional.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, can you do unintentional evil eye? Can a righteous person give someone evil eye?
But if you know your deen, you say Allahumma barik and all that, praise Allah, and this should be okay, inshallah. But that's all you can do. There's no other control. You have no other physical. You can't control anything else. You only can make dua for the brother, whatever khair he has.
Because sometimes people forget to say it.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't happen straight away. It's not like you turn button, press the button, light comes on. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? But just be careful, inshallah. Happen to people. Yeah, so, yeah.
Protection of evil eye.
Yeah. Yeah, we should read that, yeah. Mu'awidat, yeah. We have to read all this. Yeah. Very important.
You know, if someone commits shirk as a non-Muslim, right, and then they revert,
If someone commit,
like shirk as a non-Muslim, and then they revert to Islam, and then they ask for forgiveness, they do tawbah.
so you say if a Muslim commits shirk,
What's the question?
No, if a non-Muslim commits shirk,
oh, non-Muslim obviously they commit shirk anyway. Either they disbelieve in Allah.
Wait, what's the question? What's the full question?
so if they're non-Muslim, they commit
If they make tawbah, yeah, khalas, forgiven.
I don't think you finished this question.
Yeah, I think that's what
and
it
then they
should be.
revert, like,
Yeah, come back to Islam.
then
Yeah.
they're forgiven. Right?
Yeah, of course. If a non-Muslim, the question is basically, if a non-Muslim become Muslim, of course he's forgiven. Hadith, khalas. He becomes a ma'asum, he becomes sinless. This is the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So, if a non-Muslim who becomes Muslim, the moment he testifies, La ilaha illallah, he becomes Muslim, and all the sin that he has committed is forgiven. It's go for everything. It's wiped off by Allah Azza wa Jalla. Yeah.
You know, like people in the rainforest and the jungle, they never like find out about Islam, but some of them fall into shirk, like major shirk. What happens to them?
Those people who commit shirk without knowledge of Allah Azza wa Jalla, without knowledge of the deen, then they'll be judged based on if there are people who live, they never heard about Islam, they live in a jungle or maybe whatever, they never heard of Allah and Messenger about deen. If they die upon that, Allah will judge them Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah will send a messenger. For them, that's their trial. Okay? But ignorance, another type of ignorance is that people can seek the knowledge, but intentionally they want to keep away from seeking knowledge. That's kufr. The scholars say this is kufr al-i'rab, kufr of rejection. Yeah, but this is not accepted. You can't. Living in this society, you can't. It's no excuse. You're no excuse. There's no excuse for you not to learn Islam, because you can learn Islam here. Scholars are coming next. One is the week after that. Your shuyukh are coming here. Tullab al-ilm coming here, giving you durus. You have to. There's no way you can get away with that. But those people who live at the end of the world, Dhul Qarnayn, he traveled where people, he never knew the language what they speak. At the end of the world he traveled, subhanallah. They never heard about Islam. Then they will be judged Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah will judge them. Allah will send a messenger. And khalas, from there Allah will judge them. But Allah will not oppress anyone. No. But we cannot have excuse. No way, no way. We live in a land where the knowledge you can learn, basic knowledge is there. Look, you can listen to shuyukh on your phone. Subhanallah. So there's no excuse for us. Is it okay, yeah? Inshallah. Oh, yeah. Any more, khalas? You wanted to ask me something, isn't it?
You were saying something about the Prophet. You described them as Muhammad and
Mahabba and Mawadda.
yeah, what does Muhammad?
Mahabba and Mawadda means two attributes of Allah which mean love of Allah.
Both of them mean
Love of Allah, yeah. and we affirm for Allah Azza wa Jal. We express that to every believer who worships Allah. But then I say khulla is love of Allah, but it's greater than the first two. And this he only expressed this only for Muhammad and Ibrahim alayhi salam. He called him Khalil, Allah's Khalil. So the ulama says it is haram to say Isa is Khalilullah. But you can say Muhammad my Khalil, nothing wrong with that. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he said Qala Khalili, my Khalil said this, my Rasulullah. You can say that, but you can't say Allah has taken Isa as a Khalil. La, you can't say that. Yeah. Yeah, inshallah. Khalas.